creativity. For bookings, email us at marketing@dominion.org.ng. Call us on 070-101 1061. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok at Dominion Broadcast, and on X at Dominion Casts.
We bring the world to your screen in real time.
It's not just a van, it's a complete mobile production house, a command center, a broadcast beast.
This is more than a broadcast. This is the OB Van difference. Live, loud, limitless.
Ready to go live like never before? Book the OB Van today and take your event to the world. One powerful broadcast at a time.
To book, call 0705 506 1061 or 0916 101 1061. Email marketing@dominion.org.ng or visit our socials on Instagram at Dominion Broadcast.
Dominion Broadcast, your channel of choice.
Top of the morning to you, and you're welcome to Dominion Sport right here on Dominion Television, where we talk all things sports on the go. Tonight is the UEFA Champions League night of football back in action. We're going to have some giant football teams take center stage tonight in the UEFA Champions League. Also, we'll be looking at the camp of the Super Eagles ahead of the clash against Gabon right there for the World Cup ticket. Also, we'll be looking at the local stories making the round this morning. Yesterday, I discussed that we're going to be talking about the league, the Premier League, Spanish La Liga, the Bundesliga, the Serie A, and also the French Ligue 1. All these and more on the show. I am Paul Abe Toluwanimi, and I have the expert analyst himself, Samson Balogun, they call him the official captain, the man with unbiased analysis and undiluted report. Good morning to you, Samson. How are you feeling this wonderful morning?
Top of the morning to you, Tolu. It's really nice to be here to talk sports once again, and you know, there's a lot to unpack. The UEFA Champions League is back, the Conference League is back, and of course the UEFA Europa League also back. So there are plenty of games to be played across Europe today, tomorrow, and the day after. So there's a lot to unpack on the show this morning.
All right, let's look straight to the camp of Ranchers Bees as Patrick Bassi target MPFL promotion as Ranchers Bees begin era. The Ranchers Bees Football Club have officially unveiled coach Patrick Bassi as their new head coach ahead of the 2025-2026 Nigerian National League NNL season. The unveiling ceremony held on Monday in Kaduna attracted top football dignitaries and media representatives. Among those in attendance were club president Naru Buala and also Kaduna State Football Association chairman Abdullahi Afasali, both of whom expressed confidence that Bassi appointment signals a new chapter of progress for the club. In his first address as coach, Bassi thanked the club owner, Super Eagles striker Sadiq Umar, for entrusting him with the role and pledged to meet the club's key objectives, securing promotion to the Nigeria Football League NPFL. They have given us the targets to promote the team to the NPFL. That is what we are working towards, Bassi has said. A seasoned technician with years of experience in both top flight football and also grassroots football. Bassi is widely represented for his technical discipline and player development record. His appointment is viewed as a strong statement for intent by Ranchers Bees, who are eager to reclaim their place among Nigeria's top elite football club. Also unveiled At the ceremony was goalkeeper Emmanuel Daniel, a former national team shortstopper who promised to use the experience to guide the team, young players and strengthen their promotion bid. And with his vast experience I've gathered over the years, it is a wonderful opportunity to impact young players and help the team achieve our goal of promotion, Daniel stated. The Ranchers Bees will compete in the Conference D of the upcoming NNL season, where they will face a formidable opponent including Gombe United, Yobe Desert Stars and the Kebbi United. There you have it, Samson Balogun. Wonderful pictures on the screen already. Bassey, well known for his development for players, not a new name, to the household of football in Nigerian football, and is ready to take Ranchers Bees back to top-flight football. Also, they have a strong guiding goal for them this season. What's it looking like for Ranchers Bees in the NNL coming season?
Well, for serious-minded teams, one of the things you would see them do is statement signings. I mean, you know exactly what the team is all about and what they have in stock for their fans out there if, they are making some signings. And that comes with the vast experience, usually deposited in coach Patrick Bassey, who has been in the top flight, has been in the NNL, also at grassroots level. He has a wide range of experience and he understands what it needs to be at that stage. And the goal is clear for the team. And the owners of the team are actually saying, look, we have a goal. The first goal is to qualify for the MPFL. And then we'll qualify for the MPFL. We want to stay there. We don't just want to be passengers in and out. We just want to qualify and want to stay there permanently. That's where we want to be. Because going back in history, you would know the name Ranchers Bees is not. It's like you are talking about the likes of Abiola Babes and the likes. Really? So it means so much to the people. And Kaduna for a long time, they have not really had, a competing team in any of the leagues. So if you put that into consideration, we would understand why the Kaduna FA is also actively involved in all of this. So they want to put the name of the state on the football map once again. And that's quite important because when you look at the history of Nigerian football, you're talking about Ranchers Bees, you're talking about Wayao National. I mean, these are teams that are Dolphins, Sharks of Port Harcourt. These are teams, and you could imagine when two teams are matched together, they match Dolphins of Port Harcourt and Sharks together. That's why you now have, is it Rangers or something? Yeah, that's why you have
match them together.
Just one team, because the state was actually managing two teams at the time, and then that was against the ethics of the MPFL. You cannot have two teams playing in the same league at the same time. Just like we have Remo Stars and Beyond Limits, and most definitely you have Crown Football Club of Ogbomoso and Shooting Star Sport Club of Ibadan. You cannot have two teams by the same owner playing in the same league because it contradicts what the provision of the constitution of the league actually says. So for Ranchers Bees, they are, aside from the owners who are bankrolling the whole stuff, they have a lot of backing in the states. And that's one of what I mentioned earlier, which is the state FA, actively involved. If we cannot do it, if someone else is doing it, we have to give you the maximum support. And they are also actively involved in recruitment of players. That's why you have experienced players. A national team goalkeeper coming to play in the NNL. It says one thing, that is pure desire to actually succeed. That is a deliberate attempt to get things done. And if you look at all these people coming together, you can just say, for example, they are not going to be the highest paid in the league. But then they have all come together to put everything aside. It's not just about the money now, it's about record that is about to be broken. If they qualify for the NNL, that means that Ranchers Bees, for a long time, so I think it's over 20 years that we have seen them, they are coming back to the NPFL. And that's a big one. If they are able to pull this through with adequate recruitment, you bring the players you need, not by slots. That is one. Two, you bring the right kind of coach, and the coach on board actually fits the bill. I mean, no doubt about that. His credentials as a coach, cannot be questioned. He has done it before. He has a track record. I mean, if you are recruiting a coach in this kind of level, what you have is as good as you are going to a corporate establishment to get a job. Your CV will be tested. You will be thoroughly scrutinized, and then you tell them what exactly you are bringing to the table that is totally different from what others are bringing. There's a difference in you applying for a job, and then there's a difference between applying for the job and when you are actually being poached.
Okay.
Oh, come to us, we have this for you, we have that for you. So these are things I want to assume is happening at that team. I know they handpicked coach Patrick Bazzi for one reason, to get the team back into the PFL. Is that goal achievable? Yes. Will they be able to do it? I think so. But when it is done, will they be able to maintain that momentum? That I do not know.
all right. It's you know, it's exciting to hear, you know, some of these clubs. You look at the history, and when you have Samson Balogun talking, you know, history of the NPFL, you know, he knows the books. And honestly speaking, we hope to see Ranchers be back to the NPFL. Let's watch this video quickly while we are discussing Samson Balogun. I noticed this at the game against Shooting Stars, and this happened yesterday. I mean, over the weekend between Ikorodu City and Kun Khalifa. Now, the video is going to come up on the screen right now, and it's a whole lot of worry for me. I saw this happen at the game against Lagos Salami Stadium. Why do we have the owners of the team making decisions and clamoring? So these are the top owners of Kun Khalifa, you know, speaking to the players to leave the pitch because of a certain incident that happened when Ikorodu City got the goal, and they had to, you know, somebody had to go call them back. I saw that happen on the game against Shooting Stars also, you know. And I've been asking you, Samson Balogun, why do we have the sporting director sitting at the technical side of the team? I don't know if it's done. Maybe I can be corrected. Now this is another thing happening again. Why are we not having good rules and laid down by you know, if we talk about the officials?
You see, one of the things we fail to look at when we talk about local football, I really do not like calling our leagues local league, but then let me put it that way, because with what you just saw now, we can just classify it as local.
Come on.
You see, one thing is clear. Majority of these people are the corridor of you know, football and sports management in the country. You ask them this question: what qualifies you to be in this position? We know of a particular person who, just by virtue of being a match day photographer, has found his way into football management, and is there. So many other people with no clear-cut understanding of what the job is all about. Now, at Chelsea as we speak, Peter Cech is one of the most ranked, you know, people at the helms of affairs. Do you see Peter Cech on the sidelines? No, you don't even see him when he comes into the stadium. And the only time you see him, probably, maybe he has come into the state box to sit with other people. That's where you see Peter Cech up there.
And the camera is the one actually.
And another thing you do not see is that there's no means of communication between Peter Cech and the technical crew. He's not wired to anybody, so his job is just to sit there. He's coming on a day like that to see the game as a fan. Because your job ends the moment your team sheet is released. As a technical director of the, as a sporting director. The moment the stadium is set for the game, your job ends there. The coach and the technical crew take over from there, because all that is left is not what you do behind the scenes. It's done on the field of play. And who are the people who want to do actions on the field of play? They are the players, they are the coaches. Now, your job as the sporting director is not on the sidelines. I mean, I've seen these anomalies most times. I've seen media officers standing by the coach.
Honestly, I saw the sporting director of Shooting Stars speak to the coach.
Your job is not there.
Giving directions.
If you would have loved to be a coach, I mean, there are places where you sign up to be a coach, and you start from grassroots too. I mean, you don't just come and then become an emergency coach. Now, when you see football club owners, it's not just limited to Nigeria. It happens everywhere around the world. And, you know, in advanced and more sophisticated leagues, they are being cautioned and controlled one way or the other. Sometimes they are fined, sometimes they are banned from the stadium. Yes, that you own this team really does not mean that you are absolute.
There are rules.
There are rules. You follow the rules. Now, let's make an example of Marinakis, Evangelos Marinakis of Nottingham Forest. You know, before Nuno Espirito Santo left the team, they have a face-off on the sideline. He was there, he was saying so many things, and then Nuno Espirito Santo was trying to tell him, you don't talk to my players. at least for now, I am in charge of these players. So your job is up there. You don't come here and make decisions. So let me handle the situation right here. That was the beginning of an end between Evangelos Marinakis and Nuno Espirito Santo. And one thing I was glad Nuno was able to do is that he never backed down. He was strong about his point. If I'm not getting it right, sack me. Let me go. And I'm going to prove my credentials someone else. Over the weekend, West Ham United defeated the almighty Newcastle United 3-1.
Newcastle that defeated Tottenham Hotspur.
They defeated Tottenham Hotspur a few days ago. Now, the process of bringing Nuno Espirito Santo to that team is now showing, which Nottingham Forest are still struggling.
I agree.
Against Manchester United, Manchester United scored first. They equalized, they scored 2 goals, and then Manchester pegged them back. In fact, Manchester almost won the game. So it means that the loss, the trend for losing games would have continued if Manchester United took their chances, meaning that they have not found the solution to their problem. So where I'm going back to is, you see, when you put people in positions, especially when they are there by accident, because we have seen people there being there by accident. What qualifies you to be a chairman of a football club? It's not just by being
buoyant enough, financial capacity.
Sometimes you need to take personal studies, understand what your role will be at the club. Now, as the owner of the team, you are not the coach. You are not the sporting director. You are not the technical advisor. You are not even a steward. You don't open the gates. So your job is to finance the team and give the team a target. Now, when you have given the team a target and they are not meeting up with that target, you send a warning, a signal through the sporting director. You don't speak with the coach.
I agree.
Because it is not your job to have a one-on-one conversation with the coach. Now, the reason you have a sporting director is to handle sporting affairs within the team. The welfareism of the team on the field of play is for the sporting director. Now, if you now have other issues, which is having what we call relationships with brands and other things, does not concern the sporting director.
I agree.
There are other people who handle the image of the club, branding. That's where the media lead comes on board, and some other people who are into PR, they help you do all that. They polish your team out there. Even when you are losing, people are still seeing your image in a good way. So they have their own job too. And ground managers too. They take care of the stadium. It is their job to make sure that the stadium is in optimal standard for the next home game. So all that, it's a division of labor. So as the owner, if you don't want to run mad while doing the job, you really have to calm down and give people the responsibility they truly deserve. Now, if you now see, we saw it in Ibadan too. We are not shy to say this. There are video evidences of the chairman of the club on the sideline speaking to the coach, telling the coach when to sub a player on or when to sub him off. It's not your job. It's not your job. And if care is not taken, you'll be seen as a there's a particular word I would have loved to use, but I won't be doing that. But the truth is, sometimes you have to know where your role stops and where other persons begin. And if you are conscious of that, you will not have this kind of situation. So what's your role? In fact, they should be sanctioned for doing this. At least there's an evidence. You do not, nobody has the right to tell the players to leave the field. Because the moment they enter that field, they become the property of the league management company in that particular country. So it is only the match commissioner that reserves the right to say, oh, this match ends on continuous. The moment you take that law into your own hand and tell your players to walk away, you should be ready to be sanctioned. And I do hope that the LMC is already doing something about this. Wherever, even if it is in Ibadan, whoever is in charge and did that should be sanctioned, regardless of if you are the eyes and mighties in the league. Nobody cares about that. Your title ends the moment you enter that pitch.
All right. Come on. We just hope that they are listening and there are certain corrections. I can pick just one word, that Sam said. He said so much, but let me just pick one word. He said, you should know your role. You should study your role if you have to take charge of some certain situations. Let's watch some football highlights over the weekend in the MPFL. When we are back, we're still talking sport. Remember, we're still going to talk about the camp of the Super Eagles. Eric Shields has dropped a list, but the NFF has said they are not yet to release that list. We'll be talking about that on the show. Enjoy football highlight from the MPFL. We'll be back to talk more sports.
MPFL action here And we're hoping for yet another spectacle of grand proportions.
That defeated them here at home, got defeated by them last week. And it's so nice to see.
Naheem, and this time Folari and Spears to Juno Christian. Ball into the area, Michael Otata needed so he can't get the best of that loose ball. It's a flaming arm from Adebayo. 3-1 winners over El Kanemi Warriors, and then 1-0 over AIM, a game that AIM was down to turning that game, but who cares? Going away from home to beat Bayelsa United. Brilliant ball into the tee and box! Oh! What a revelation.
A brilliant one at that as well. A very, very brilliant one.
And so, there you have it. In the battle of two probably owned sides, one prevailing at the moment. So they come forward now. Wale, oh, squirmed away desperately by Ahmed Joseph and kept alive by Dagogo. A stunner, clamoring to the referee. There was a man down before that situation. But Dagogo in beautiful batter. And that's one for the Ikuru City Academy.
And take a look at
Henry into Uche. Can they find something? Well saved by Michael Otata.
they're chipping away now.
Long ball into the box. Oh, almost kind of snicking, but Michael Otata again switched on. As we're Reading. And well, that substitution will not happen because it's game, set, and match.
For Kano Pillars in the Nigerian Premier Football League 2025-2026 season.
That's the military substitution used in Platoon was because of the those inflow from that throws there. But all the same, let's see how it goes there.
And of course, that whistle gets us underway here in Aba. Match day 11 game involving Aimba Football Club and Kano Pillars. Quickers. Kano Pillars turns defense to attack. We have Rabi Ali locking, beautifully done, handball spotted. Free kick to Said Masugida. Dangerous position now for Kano Pillars. Can he get his third goal of the campaign? He plays in! Beautifully done, beautifully saved by Kevin Ogunga.
Well, that's also because they had to change coaches, having to bring in Babaganaru.
Crosses. It's an opportunity there! Also played for Sporting Lagos. Opportunity, more inviting cross there.
Keep coming because with Jambasi showing what they could do with the crosses, then definitely they're going to keep trying to play those crosses there.
Opportunity there for Jambasi. The square plays, Adidion! Can he make it through? Beats the goalkeeper! And it's a beautiful, beautiful one-goal goal by Adidion! Ezekiel goal by Aimba Football Club. Passes on, finding Adidion Ezekiel, who beats the goalkeeper. Their 5th game away from home this campaign. And Kaluweke gets us started in the second 45 minutes of this game. Finds quickly John Barsi. Joel Ezra decides to go with his weaker foot. Fortunately connected with no one. Ufere Chinedu shoots! Abdul Muttalib. Only to Calvin Ogunga. Salman Idris. Opportunity now for Korea. What's the save? More opportunity now. And another save. From the Google touchdown. Was on there. To Idris. Floater there. Opportunity, no one to connect. No one really. Takes a beautiful one. Side 19 there. A living legend. A legend of the Nigerian Premier Football League.
All right, there you have it, the beautiful game of football right there at the MPFL games. I'm sure you enjoyed that. You're welcome back to Dominion Television. This is Dominion Sport. We're still talking sport right here on the go. Right about time to talk about Rivers United. They have been drawn in Group A. They are against the group stage side, the reigning champions Pyramid, RS Bakane, and also Power Dynamos FC. Samson Balogun, honestly, when I saw this list, my heart, I was just wondering how would Samson Balogun analyze this out for Rivers United today. Looking at this, Samson Balogun, do we have a chance, of getting out of this group? You look at, Pyramid defending champions. You look at Bakane also having, to win. The last CAF Continental, championship right there, and Powers Dynamos also. You take nothing away from that team right there. Do we stand a chance to leave the Group A stage game right there at the CAF Champions League?
Well, Rivers United is arguably the weakest team in that group. If you look at RS Bakane, they are featured prominently in the finals of CAF competition tournaments in the last 5 years. In fact, I think last year, 2 years ago, they had to play at the Nest of Champions in Uyo. And, it was really a tough one there. They gave a very good account of themselves right then at the Nest of Champions. And if you look at Pyramid, one of the biggest teams in Egypt right now, just behind Al Ahly of Egypt, and you have Al Masry, who are also playing in the CAF Confederations Cup. So you can tell for a fact that these are really strong teams from their leagues. And Power Dynamos, I mean, no one can say or underestimate the power of the Power Dynamos in the what we talk about the continent of Africa. Even though they have not really been that consistent with their performance on the CAF scene, but most definitely now going to give a good account of themselves in this group phase. But for Rivers United, a little bit of inconsistency this season, even though they are arguably the best team from Nigeria as right now, because they are still the only team left, playing on the continent. So that tells us how strong Rivers United is. But will they be able to compete against these 3 other teams? Well, because they will be playing home and away, it might sound, really fantastic, because if they are able to play at home and get their victories at home, get result away from home, even if they are draws, then that puts them in a very good position to actually qualify for the next phase. Otherwise, maybe this should just be 6 games in the group and then home and dry.
So, quick one, what are the odds and how do we, you've actually said, a whole lot of things right now. I just want to, do we still have, is there a glimmer of hope to see us, and what do you think that hope can be? Because you look at the squad, for Rivers United, they don't have the experienced players who understand how this CAF Champions League is being done. How do we package this team together to give us a glimmer of hope in this competition?
Now, let me say this very quickly. If you see the composition of RS Bakane, the team, they are made up of players from Ghana, from South Africa, from Tanzania, from even their home country. So that tells you the composition of experience within the team now. if you are playing with players who are actually experienced, having played in other leagues, or they are from other places, that boosts the effectiveness in the team. And if you look at Pyramid, the Pyramid is a team that parades, Nigerian players. They parade other players from other countries too. In fact, they sign expensive players from other countries. So that tells you how serious the team is. And you can't say less about Power Dynamos too. They have also been able to sign. In fact, they are, over time they have signed so many Nigerian players that have gone there and also left the team. So that tells you about how they take the team serious. Now, ask yourself about Rivers United. How many players within Rivers United are from Ghana, Cameroon, Niger Republic, anywhere in Africa? I bet with you, it cannot be more than 2 or 3% of the players, if there is any. So that tells you the fact that we are just recycling players within Nigeria. Yes, it is fine. Even in UK, in the English Premier League, there is a composition of the team that tells you the percentage of your players that will be homegrown players who developed in England. So they can be within the ranks of the team in the capacity of academy players who have just been promoted to the team, but the fact remains that they have the number of players that can be your starting 11 that are from that league. So you cannot bring every member of your team from away, but the thing you can do is that you can have a certain percentage. There was a time you would always see a John Terry, a Frank Lampard, a Joko, and one other player, I will remember, in the Chelsea lineup. Because at that time, there's a number of players from England that should start. And that was even the era where Chelsea was doing importation of players. They had a lot of African players. Didier Drogba, Solomon Kalou, Michael Essien, John Obi Mikel, all are of African descent. Then you have Michael Ballack from Germany. You have Udano Belletti, and so many other people, William Gallas. They all played, from one place, Wimbridge from England. These are players from different countries. But all that matters to the English FA at the time was that there's a certain number of players that has to be homegrown, players from England who developed in England. So they have to be your starting 11. So Chelsea was able to do the composition there. The only thing that will happen is, after starting the game, maybe after the first 45 minutes, you can make your substitution and go back to status quo. But at least they must be in your starting 11. And there's also a certain number of players that has to be in your 23-man squad for the match day. And sometimes your larger squad, every player in the team, whether in the academy, in the first 11, in the second team, there's a number of English players in the team. That should be brought back to Nigeria. If we can do that, especially in Africa. Sometimes I laugh when teams are to recruit in the MPFL and they resort to open trials. I mean, a professional team doing open trials to recruit players. For me, that is not wise enough. Because the quality of players you get at open trials, yes, they will shine when playing open trials because it's just a closed door thing. Maybe 100, 200 people watching how these players are playing. They are perfectly fine with that. But how would they fare when they play when 5,000, 10,000 people are in the stadium? They are two different things. So sometimes stage fright do affect players and games do swallow players, just like we always say. But the truth of the matter is, Rivers United should try as much as possible. Yes, Remo Stars tried to do something like that, at the close season, brought in players from outside the country. I think 2 of them also got a Nigerian player, Victor Mbauma, back from where he went to, brought him back to the team with his wealth of experience and what he has done, in the NPL before he traveled. That really helped them a little bit in the way teams now see them from outside. Because what it means, you see, when you recruit players from other places, it's not just because of what the players are bringing to the table. You're also expanding the scope of how your team is being seen out there. Take, for example, a major player for Ghana plays in the MPFL and plays for Yimba, meaning that Ghanaians will now tune in to watch a Yimba Football Club of Aba. Now, if a player from Tanzania plays for Shooting Star Sport Club of Ibadan, meaning that Tanzanians will monitor the MPFL. So the coverage will be wider than that. The reason you are seeing Al Ahly being monitored in Nigeria, except from, let's just put it aside now. It's not just about people who are doing online betting and the likes. It's about people who are actually truly watching Al Ahly of Egypt as a team. There's a particular player from Shaki Awujola who plays in Egypt. I know a few of my friends who are indigenous of Shaki who will tune in to the Egyptian league to watch their kinsmen play football for an Egyptian team. So you are expanding the scope. So even Al Ahly does not know now that they have super fans in Shaki, Oyo State, Nigeria. They don't know that they have fans in Oyo State. They don't know that they have so much fan base in Nigeria as we speak. So the more you recruit players from my side, you are expanding the scope of your fan base and of course your reach out there. So it's not just about what they are bringing to the table on the field of play. It's also about branding for the club.
All right. Come on. If there's something about, when Samson Balogun speaks about things like this, you just want to enjoy the show and the flow of it. Well, because of our time, we have to move with the speed of light. But there you have it on the screen, the group stage, right there where you have Rivers United in Group A. So make sure you're rooting for Rivers United. I will be giving you more update as the CAF Champions League unfolds. Let's move away from that. Let's talk more story. And this is coming for the race for 2025 Nigeria Basketball League. A title has been narrowed to 4 as River Upas, Lagos Legends, Boko Queen City Chiefs, and also Nigeria Customs secure their place in the season final. 4 following the conclusion of the final 8 round on Sunday. Defending champions River Upas and Lagos Legends finished joint top of the standings with identical record of 6 wins and 1 loss, underlining the dominance throughout the round. Boko City Chiefs also followed in third place with 5 wins and 2 losses, while Nigerian Custom clinched the final qualification spot in dramatic fashion, edging out Kano Pillars and now University Spartans. 2025 MPBL Final 4 is scheduled to hold on November 20th to 24th, 2025, and will determine not only the national champions but also Nigerians representative at the Basketball African Bowl. The 4 teams will play in the round-robin format with each side facing the other 3 wards. With the final 4 now set, attention turns to the upcoming showdown in November as the country top teams battle for national glory and the chance to fly Nigerian flag at the continental stage. Samson Balogun, there you have it. And to me, it looks like it's still going to be River Upas who are still going to fly the flag for Nigeria.
You see, it's not far-fetched. If you look at what River Upas have been able to do lately, is that we just discussed what is going on with sports generally in Nigeria. So I won't bore you with the rhetorics anymore. The way River Upas recruit, the deliberate attempt to branch the team, the deliberate attempt to succeed as a team, it will always show. You see, when you handle a team with hands of levity, that's the result you get. I was talking to someone yesterday evening about how players are being recruited in the NWFL, and then we spoke about some players. I know a few of them, I know that they are not ripe for the NWFL, but they have been recruited by a certain team to play for them. So what will happen? We saw those players coming back from the stadium where they had a football game. They were trekking. Some of them were carrying pure water on their head. And these are players that you expect to come and give their all in the next game. They are tired. So the way you care for your players, deliberate attempt to brand the players, the remuneration, how you pay your players, determines on. You see, you cannot invest 100,000 and make 1 billion naira. It is absolutely impossible unless you are a thief. You have invested in 419 business. That's when you make that kind of money. So it is what you make is a result of what you have actually invested. So if you have invested little, you win little. So what is going on right now with River Upas is the fact that there's heavy investment in the team, and it has shown over the time. We have other basketball teams in the basketball league. But the truth is, every now and then, when River Upas is mentioned, every other team bow. And that's why they have always represented Nigeria on the continental scene. And don't be surprised, they are going there again. And they will be the team to represent Nigeria.
All right, let's see how far that one can go. The competition is set for 20th of November to 24th of November. Now, quick one. We're just going to move quickly because of our time. We'll take the Super Eagles story tomorrow because the camp is gearing up. We'll be that. But let's look at the 5th Pro World 11 and the Champions League game for tonight. Because of our time, let's have the 5th Pro 11. Thank you so much, Peperiza. Samson Balogun, when you saw this list yesterday, were there some names that you would have thought should be in this list? I got some, rancor from some fans saying Moise Caicedo should be in this list. Other people saying if you have Moise Caicedo in this list, then Declan Rice should be in this list. But I'm surprised to see a certain Cole Palmer and Jude Bellingham on this list. And also, I would have loved to see Harry Kane, maybe if the formation was tweaked a little bit to 4-4-2, where you have Kylian Mbappe and Harry Kane in the same field. But there you have it, Samson Balogun, Donnarumma, Hakimi, Van Dijk, Mendes, Cole Palmer, Jude Bellingham, Pedri, Vitinha, Lamine Yamal, Kylian Mbappe and Dembele. And meanwhile, Lamine Yamal becomes the youngest player to make the 5th Pro World 11.
In fact, it was a groundbreaking for voting pattern for Lamine Yamal to be in that team. And you see, all these players that have been, that are currently on this list, there is no way you can take any of these players away. But unfortunately, you cannot have more than 11.
I agree.
So based on the voting pattern, it's not what you have now is not totally about competence anymore. It's about choice eventually when it comes to voting. So when anything that has to do with voting is eventually narrowed down to choice. Now, who are the people that voted?
The players.
The players voted,
yeah.
and even the press were given the opportunity to say, oh, these players actually outdid another in the past season. But the truth of the matter is, yes, you would have loved to have Moise Caicedo, just like you would have loved to have Declan Rice, because he did exceptionally well last season, but not as much as you will say of Moise Caicedo, because what Moise Caicedo did was actually transferred to a new season.
Yeah.
You saw what happened. If not for Moise Caicedo, the match between Chelsea and Tottenham probably would have ended in a 0-0 draw. He had 2 interceptions in the space of just 2-3 seconds. 2-3 seconds, and within that same period, he assisted the goal. That's I really can't say what people are thinking right now, but the truth of the matter is, it deserves to be here. But unfortunately, only 11 players. Jude Bellingham was one of the best for Real Madrid last season. Cole Palmer, arguably the best player for Chelsea last season too. Pedri for Barcelona, outstanding. Vitinha for Paris Saint-Germain, nobody would doubt what he brought to the table last season. In fact, it's an injustice for the Paris Saint-Germain midfield that it's only Vitinha that made the team.
I'm sorry, you
how about this?
João Neves.
João Neves too. Fabian Ruiz, they did exceptionally well. Now, what would you say about a certain Desire Joe who is not even in the team at all?
Or a certain Rafinha.
Rafinha. So these players are fantastic players. In fact, I'm so pained that Rafinha is not in.
Honestly, I was about to say that.
But the truth is, you cannot pick Rafinha when you have already even Lamine Yamal. So Dembele is the best player in the world right now. So you cannot put Rafinha in the team and Dembele, who is the best player in the world, sits on the bench. And you need a top striker because they are going with a 3-4-3 formation. And Kylian Mbappe, absolutely fantastic, monstrous for his team last season. And I mean, you cannot take anything away from this team. Even though you would always have the mindset that there are some players who deserve to be there. But hey, you can't have more than 11. It is just 11.
All right, let's move away from that. Let's look at the UEFA Champions League, a night of football. The fixtures are upon us today. And I'm just going to ask Samson Balogun a few questions quickly. We have big games. Liverpool against Real Madrid tonight. Samson Balogun, Trent Arnold, and the coach have said, we're going to give him a warm reception. He has gone to pay, tribute to Diego Jota yesterday. He had so much to write on that note. But let's look at the games for today. We have Napoli against Frankfurt, Slavia Prague against Arsenal, Atletico Madrid against Union Saint-Gilloise. We have Bodo Glimt against Monaco, Juventus against Sporting CP, Liverpool against Madrid. We have Olympiacos against PSV. We have Paris Saint-Germain against Bayern Munich, and we have Tottenham Hotspur against Copenhagen. 2 games for you to analyze quickly: Liverpool against Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain against Bayern Munich.
Well, Tottenham Hotspur, having struggled for 5 games, had a resurgence over the weekend, won against Aston Villa, but that's not enough to compete against your Real Madrid team that has a razor blade attack, as I would love to put them, with Vinicius Junior, Kylian Mbappe in attack, and Ada Gula, who's also doing exceptionally well. Jude Bellingham in form. I mean, the Real Madrid midfield with Aurelien Tchouameni, with Camavinga. These are quality players that would outclass any team, anytime, any day. But against the Liverpool team that is still struggling, yes, you might want to call, that win against Aston Villa a flash in the pan. That might not really count against Real Madrid. So they might just be up against a team. It might just end in a massacre. But if Liverpool can contain Real Madrid for 2-3 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes of the game, maybe it will end in a defeat eventually. But then it might just be as narrow as possible.
All right, Paris Saint-Germain against Bayern Munich, Champions League final upon us yet again. this game looks mouth-watering. You look at Bayern Munich from this season, fantastic. Paris Saint-Germain, a little glimmer of struggle, but getting the result. How do you see this one for them?
Well, it's going to be an explosive encounter between these two teams. For Paris Saint-Germain, they have not really gotten it that right this season. It has been from the upper gear to the lower gear in some cases. But for Vincent Kompany at Bayern Munich, they've done 100% of their games this season, all ended in victories. I mean, if you are in that situation, you will really be bullish about your chances against an opposition like Paris Saint-Germain. But when it comes to games of these big teams playing against one another, the first thing that is at stake is not the point, it's pride. So you play for pride first, because you do not want to lose that. And after that, you chase your points. So a lot is at stake for these teams. Quality players in both teams. But I really can't say where this is ending. But it tilts a little bit more towards Bayern Munich.
All right, so quick one. Go to the comment section right now on YouTube. Drop your predictions correctly. Look at the games. Pick all the games, but if you get 5 correctly, you walk home with the sum of 5,000 naira tomorrow. There you have it at Dominion Broadcast on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and X at Dominion Cast. So make sure you drop it right in the comment section. Look at the predictions. If you get 5 correctly, you go home with the sum of 5,000 naira tomorrow on the show. A big thank you to everyone that joined us on the show this wonderful morning. And make sure you keep it locked in right here on Dominion Television, your channel of choice. Thank you so much, Samson Balogun, for joining us on the show.
Really nice to be here.
All right, tomorrow is going to be fantastic. Make sure you're with us. Have a wonderful day. Stay blessed, and bye for now.